Hi, I'm Judy. I'm a gardener who lives in temperate Melbourne. I grow about 20 different varieties of fruit trees, and those that I've had long enough to produce fruit for me, I'll be rating out of 10. Starting with one of my absolute favourites here, without a doubt I would plant this one again. So this is a Santa Rosa plum tree. It's partially self-fertile, so you don't need a pollinator, though it does benefit from having one, and I've just planted one a few months ago. But yeah, this Santa Rosa plum, in terms of taste, it is an absolute 10 out of 10. It's probably one of the best fruits I've ever eaten. You know, when the sun was hitting it against this brick wall in the afternoon and the fruit was ripening, and you could just go and pick a fresh plum off the tree and it would melt in your mouth. It was just absolutely delicious. So that one's a 10 out of 10. Very easy to espalier. It's relatively easy to shape, and I just love it. So this plant is definitely a 10 out of 10 for me in every aspect. It doesn't get leaf curl like other stone fruit. The next one here is a Goldmine Nectarine. So this is, according to the Diggers Club fruit and vegetable gardeners book, which I've got and I absolutely love. This is one of the best tasting nectarines. It's a white flesh nectarine. It's really juicy, it's really delicious. It gave us some good fruit last season, and then probably gave us a handful the season before. The one downside was that the fruit did get a little bit moldy because we had some wet weather right as it was ripening. So I'm going to take a couple of marks off for that, and just the fact that you do have to spray these a couple of times a year at leaf drop and also at bud burst with like a copper spray to stop the leaves from getting leaf curl. So I'd take a mark off for that as well. But aside from that, I'd give it probably an 8 out of 10. It's done really well. It hasn't really suffered from any diseases. It's been easy to espalier. It's a dwarf variety as well. So it grows really nicely against this brick wall in the sort of 2 meters of space that I've given it. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. The next one here that I had really high hopes for was the Elberta peach. Now, this is a dwarf Elberta peach as well. It's on dwarfing rootstock, super healthy. Again, it suffered from the same issue that the Goldmine Nectarine tree did, with the fungus sort of affecting the mold affecting the fruit just as it was ripening, but that was because we had some uncharacteristically wet weather coming through in summer. And yeah, aside from that, the peaches tasted pretty good. I would say I had higher hopes for them. I had my hopes up because, like, yellow flesh peaches, especially homegrown, you expect them to be absolutely mind-blowing. But yeah, I would give this a solid 8 out of 10. They probably were a little bit less flavorful than the nectarines, but the tree is really healthy and vigorous. And I think if I get my watering regime down properly, this next season will be a really good one for the peaches. So yeah, really happy with it. Really healthy plant. I love the look of it against the wall. It gives this beautiful full foliage look. Yeah, it's just looking really, really healthy. And look at the size of that trunk. It loves this spot. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. We haven't had any fruit from this quince yet, so I'm going to give it a pass this year, but I'll come back next year and rate it for you guys. But we did have another nectarine here, and I'm going to give that nectarine like a 3 out of 10. It was a crimson baby. I've still got the tag for it here. It was a dwarf crimson baby nectarine. Unfortunately, for a couple of years, it suffered from really bad pest attack from aphids, and then it got sunburn, and then it developed like a bacterial canker. So I did manage to eat like 3 nectarines off it, and I will say they were absolutely delicious, but unfortunately it was just too prone to diseases. And you know, that was partially my fault as well, because I sprayed it really heavily with a eco oil, which caused it to get some sunburn, and probably made it susceptible to other diseases. But yeah, I would give that one a 3 out of 10. Next up, we've got 2 pear trees. So they just look beautiful. So first off, I haven't actually had any pears from this one, so I'm going purely off looks. This is a Doyenne du Comice French type pear, which is like a green pear with a crimson blush on it. When I finally get fruit, pears tend to fruit after like 4 or 5 years, I believe, whereas the other stone fruits fruit a little bit earlier. This one here is a nashi pear. It's a Nijisseiki 20th century nashi pear. I've had a couple of nashis off it, and they were really, really nice. They were a little bit small. They kind of got knocked off before they were ready, but the flavour on them was beautiful. But I'm going to give both of these plants so far a 9 out of 10, just taking 1 point off for the fact that I haven't gotten any fruit. But they are super healthy. I haven't needed to do anything to them other than training them in this espalier. I haven't needed to spray them. Yeah, they are just beautiful, beautiful looking trees. Over here in my future chook pen, we've got a little avocado tree. I'm going to hold off on giving that one a rating. So far I'm actually really happy with its progress though. It's not dying, which is great. Avocados can be a little bit finicky, but it looks, all the new growth on it looks really, really healthy. They like to be in well-drained soil, and we have really heavy clay, so I've put it in a raised bed in this area that will be the chook pen, and I've just built it a little shelter out of some shade cloth. This is a Hass avocado, so I believe it's an A type. There's, you know, A and B type avocados that have their flowers open at different times of the day, and they can be, you know, it can be helpful to have 2 varieties to pollinate each other, but we're just going with the Hass for now and seeing how it goes. But I'm really happy with it so far, but time will tell. And again, I'm going to hold off on giving that one a rating because I haven't really given it a chance to bear fruit. Now, along this back fence, we've got a couple more espalier. There's an orange, a cara orange down the very end, and then another quince here that are being almost smothered by this pumpkin plant. And then here we've got a persimmon. For these 3, I'm not going to provide a rating because none of them have actually borne any fruit, so it would be a little bit unfair of me to provide a rating. I've only known them for a few months as well, unlike the pears, so I'm going to give them a chance to impress me. This one here is the same. It's only been in the ground for, I don't know, maybe 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. I can't remember, to be honest. This one here is a Satsuma plum. So it's a beautiful looking plant. I really like plum trees. I never was a fan of them to eat that much until I had the Santa Rosa, which knocked my socks off. It was so good. But they just grow really well. They're pretty disease resistant here. And you don't have to do much to them. They're just happy, healthy plants. And I like that. I don't want something that I have to baby along. I can give this one a rating actually, because unbeknownst to me, it had flowered and borne 1 fruit a few months after I put it into the ground. So that was a bit of a surprise to come out and see this ripe plum hanging off this like tiny little sapling. So I'm going to give this tree a 9 out of 10. Really nice fruit. Probably not quite as nice as the Santa Rosa, which is definitely a 10 out of 10. Now down here, I'm going to provide a bonus rating for this fruiting plant, which isn't a tree, but it is a passion fruit. This is a Nelly Kelly purple passion fruit. Look how thick and healthy that is. So you can see the grafting point there, that I'm always checking to see if there's any rootstock grafts coming up from. Got a little tomato seedling, and yeah, it's just been amazing, this passion fruit. It is absolutely so productive. It's covered this whole wall, so if you're looking for a screening plant, you can't really do better than a passion fruit. And it gives you fruit, It gives you these really interesting and cool flowers. We get more passion fruit that we can eat when it's in fruit, and we just freeze them and have them frozen, and they're really, really a delicious treat, you know, going into the cooler months when you want a bit of homegrown fruit. So yeah, this passion fruit, I just love it. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.